Hey, good morning, everyone. Is everyone able to hear me clearly? Doing a sound check. All right, we got Boston already requesting for pound Aussie and US 30. We got Joey, NASDAQ and oil. All right, guys. We're doing a sound check. Could you just let me know if you can hear me clearly, right? So that I know that when I'm presenting it, it won't be like the entire webinar goes through. I'm like, oh man, I forgot to unmute my mic and stuff. Yeah. Good. I have a new background today. Right, I'm trying to blend. I have a shirt that tries to blend into as much of the background as possible. But that's I think it's a big band, right? That is behind me, because I think it's a big band behind me. Yeah. Okay, Yamilu, nice to see you. Seb, nice to see you. Uptown, nice to see you. Thanks for tuning in, guys. All right, thanks for tuning into today's session. Last week, oh yeah, I will review some of the setups that we caught last week. I think most of it pretty good, right? This week will be quite. I think a lot of people are focusing on Wednesday. I think there's a big thing coming up on Wednesday, right? So yeah, big interest rate announcement on Wednesday, right? People expect it to kind of stay the same, but we'll see, right? Anyway, let's see, for those of you guys who are just we're still waiting for a couple more people to stream in, and during that time, I guess I can share some pictures with you. I can share some pictures with you. Let me just see, of Lucas. I'm not sure who you'll find out as a kid over here, right? Let me see if I have the pictures here. Yeah, pictures no one asked for. Okay, just gonna give it another 2 more minutes before everyone streams in. All right, this was us today. Let's see if I can bring it up. Yeah. You can see we went on some Jeep ride today. Yeah, it's having so much fun today. Yeah, there's some Jeep ride. I think it's this one here. Yeah. Yeah. So this is today. It's fun, right? Yeah. It's like, so I found one amazing thing, which was on this kind of rides, it's so hard to just drive the vehicle, because you know it's not automated. You need to turn and stuff. Then only when I got on when I started, we pay to go onto this thing to drive for 5 minutes. Then I realized it's almost impossible to drive while entertaining a kid, and ensuring that you don't crash into anyone else. It's pretty fun. It's a pretty fun day today, right? But yeah, for those of you guys who occasionally ask for updates on Lucas, right? That is your weekly update. Now let's see. All right, 405, right? Just about to begin. Now we will IC Markets YouTube. We'll refer to this. I will send it to you guys too, so that you can check it out if you want to, right? The pre-market analysis, the one we streamed 6 days ago, right? I have went in to add the timestamps. You can go check it out over here, right? You can check out the timestamps over here. Pretty fun, right? We'll be going through this today, right, to see some of the key things that we call and how it worked out this week. All right. Now, let's go. All right. So pre-market live analysis with Desmond, guys, right? This is our weekly session, right? It's a pretty fun session, right? So we look at all the key news events that that's happened this week and the key news events to look out for next week. As you would know from most of this webinar, right? It's heavily on the technical side. You know, we spend a lot of time looking at technical analysis, right? Just make sure that, let me make sure everything's working. Yeah, we spend a lot of time focusing on the technical setups. So we do have the fundamentals, right? We do have the fundamentals that we kind of take a look at, right? But our main entry points are always focusing on the technicals, okay? All right, so as you can see over here, right, everything in this webinar is educational in nature. Nothing should be construed as investment or trading advice. So guys, please do your due diligence before you guys trade. All right. Now, hey Calvin, good morning. All right. Thanks for joining us. All right. Yeah, thanks for joining us. It'll be a fun session today. Okay. Our agenda, as I mentioned, right? Key news events to look out for last week, this week. I think last week, anyway, I prepared some slides for us to go through, right? And really just summarize like what happened last week and what we expect this week. All right, then we analyze the majors, right? Mainly the FX majors, commodities, indices, right? And then we have custom requests. What I want to encourage you guys to do is that if you have requests, send them through. I already see that we have Pound Aussie, we have US 30, we have NASDAQ, and we have WTI, right? So as custom requests already, even before the webinar has begun, right? So please let me know if you have if there are certain kind of requests that you want. All right. Now let's continue. I want to check one thing, right, guys? Is there a in the presentation, all right, when you're watching my video, is the IC Markets logo like covering my face? Are you guys able to see it? Right? Is the logo like just superimposed on me? Right? I can't tell if it's if you guys see it the same way I do. Oh, because I usually place myself at the bottom corner, bottom left corner. Yeah, just let me move myself around. Okay, bottom right looks fine. Okay, if I'm on the bottom right and it looks fine, then let's I'll keep myself on the bottom right. Okay, I'll keep myself on the bottom right. Okay, as long as there's no, because on my side it looks like there's a logo that is on top of me, so I can't tell if whether you guys see the same thing, right? Anyway, introducing your host for today. Right, my name is Desmond Leong, external analyst here at IC Markets. I run the award-winning research firm Everest Fortune Group and also the Forex Army. We are finalists for 2019, 2020, and 2021 for Best FX and Best Equity Research. We work with many of the major financial institutions on helping them forecast where the markets are heading, right? And we have a special partnership with IC Markets where we bring guys the good stuff, the juicy stuff, right? I don't do webinars that often anymore for a lot of other brokers, right? But for IC Markets, right, you see me tuning in, right, just to give you guys the good stuff at 4 a.m. Singapore time, right? Yeah, it's 4 a.m. here in Singapore. So I'm not sure where you guys are tuning in, right? I see that we have someone from Romania, right? I think we have I'm not sure if there's anyone in London, right? If there's anyone in London, I think it'd be the perfect time if it's in London, right? Because you should be like right about Sunday evening kind of stuff. Anyway, right, you want to follow me, you can find me on Instagram at ComfyDesmond, otherwise at theforexarmy.com. I have a bunch of indicators that I usually build. All right, let's begin today's session. All right, so the summary, right, we just touched really quickly on what happened last week, right? RBA, basically Reserve Bank of Australia and Bank of Canada, right, recently increased rates, defying market expectations, right? The key thing that we are looking at this week is that the Fed, expected to maintain rates at its upcoming meeting. If I'm not wrong, it's this Wednesday, right? With a range of 5 to 5.25%, right? The market pricing in suggests a 70% probability of a pause in rate hikes, with maybe another rate hike in July, right? So there's the big news event this Wednesday. Just remember that most of the market already priced in a 73% pause, right? So we should not be seeing a rate hike this Wednesday, right? If there is a rate hike this Wednesday, the markets there'll be a huge volatility, okay? Right, so the release of the summary of economic projections, alongside rate decisions will be important, right? So like I mentioned, a surprise rate hike really will increase volatility, right? If it remains paused as we expect, it's gonna benefit gold and probably the dollar. The key thing that if you trade a lot on the fundamentals, the key thing to look out for is Jerome Powell's comments during the press conference. So that is the thing that could influence the market reaction a little bit more, right? It's not so much of the rate hike. Most of us are pricing in. It's going to be a pause, but it's his comments during the press conference that you want to kind of look out for. Is it hinting at any whether we're going to see further pause, or is it hinting like how much more hikes we're going to need? All right. So the factors that really influence the Fed's decision. Right, I just got a couple of these slides prepared to keep it short and sweet. Right, I just penned down a few of my key thoughts. Right, recent events such as raising the U.S. debt ceiling, we all know about it. Right, and positive job growth, indicate that the Fed's work is not yet complete. Right, core PCE index shows a 4.4% increase year on year, signaling inflationary pressures. Right, and the key thing I want to focus on here is that even if the Fed pauses this week, another rate hike is likely. It's not because we pause this week, then it's gonna be, once we pause and it's paused for the rest of the year, right? I really suspect that even if pause this week, it's gonna be another rate hike in July. Very, very likely rate hike in July. All right. One of the key things to look out for, right? ECB rate decision, right? Expected to raise this week, right? The ECB is expected to raise its rates by 25 basis points. Key thing to take note is that the market has already priced it in, right? I believe that the market reaction will focus more on the commentary regarding like future policy firming, right, and the Eurozone's economic situation. So it's the market probably react more to like the commentary. Same thing as like what we expect with Jerome Powell, right? Just want to see what is we all know what's gonna come, right? But we want to know, like, in the future, right, are we going to see more rate hikes or not? Key news events this week, Tuesday, right? Tuesday, I think these are the key ones to look out for. You can rewind in this webinar, right? So in case you miss anything, just take a look at this, right? So Tuesday, these are the key news events to take note of, right? Wednesday, right, we've got an FOMC interest rate decision. Right, like I said, it's about 76% probability that the Fed will hold, the target range between like 5 and 5.25%. Thursday and Friday, right? Thursday we got an ECB interest rate decision. Friday got Bank of Japan interest rate decision. So it's going to be a fair amount of volatility this week. Monday probably not so much yet. All right, so take note of all these things. Okay, now let's go into the charts. Right, my favorite part of it. So I think this week, last week we forecasted this on Bitcoin. Bitcoin is in the middle of nowhere last week. Highlighted major resistance, major support. I don't think it moved that much. Or rather, actually it did, right? There you go. I'm on the 1-day chart. Yeah, so you can see how Bitcoin continued dropping below our first resistance, right? Follow our little trend line. Let me see if I can make this bigger. Yeah, follow our little trend line, and it got pushed down towards the first support, right? So very nicely, see, price went all the way down to our first support. And the important thing that you need to take note of here is that price actually did, right? You can see price did bounce off our first support multiple times. It actually held very well over there. So that's the key thing. When we're doing analysis, right, you want to be able to highlight the key resistance and support levels where your price has the freedom to operate within, right? Even though the markets is a little bit hard to forecast the direction of Bitcoin at the time, right? Just being able to identify this major support level over here, as you can see, right, is what we call overlap support. for the benefit of those who do not know what overlap support is, right, is where the market actually very obviously, right, reacts from the top and from the bottom. Right? Why I say obviously is because you're looking for a big movement. You want it to be obvious, right? The market responds to these levels multiple times, as you can see over here, and then over here a few more times, right? So we forecasted that. I think our forecast was about over here. We forecasted that, you know, even if price were to drop, you know, this is the main support level where it's gonna see that little bit of support from. Okay, so that's the key thing to take note of, right? Overlap support levels, right? It lined up with a nice 50% retracement level over here. So a nice 50% retracement, right? Where price is kind of bouncing off right now. Okay, so, right, we got crypto nice, Bitcoin, right on the money, right? Right where the support level is. So what can we expect this week for Bitcoin? Excuse me, right? What can we expect this week for Bitcoin, right? So my theory is very simple, right? If price is on support, play the bounce. If price is on resistance, you play the drop, right? In terms of resistance, I would say price is, you know, we can still consider this as a key resistance, but an important point to take note is that, yes, you know, we are seeing that a little bit, you know, price is being squeezed, right? Price is likely to be squeezed during this time when with this descending resistance line. And it can do two things, right? What I call upside downside confirmation, right? If price, right, is being squeezed, right, and it breaks the first support, we should expect it to go down to the second support, okay? Which is a 61.8 retracement of this entire move. Now, what we want to watch out for too is that as price is being squeezed, if it breaks this ascending support, is good enough to play the bounce to the first resistance. All right, we are at a key inflection point. What I mean by inflection point, just let me remove this background watermark. We're at this key inflection point. That means when I use the term inflection point, I mean deciding point, right? Price can either go up or price can go down, right? But this level here decides everything, right? If it breaks this level, it drops to a first support. If it breaks this descending resistance line, then it goes to first resistance. All right. My personal bias is that, you know, we hopefully could be seeing price like do a nice little bounce from here and head up to the first resistance, right? So that's my little bias because, you know, this major support level, this level is such a strong support level. It's going to take a lot for price to even just break it. All right, so slight little bias that we have that, you know, price might we might see a little bit of a bounce from here, right? To see price. Sorry, let me pick a neutral color here, right? Yeah, bounce from here, the price will go to first resistance. Okay, now really quickly, right? We're going on to Ethereum, right? I think not much happened on Ethereum. We are hoping that price will go rise from the first support level. Right, it did not, right, rise on the first support. It looks like there was a breakout. But remember in the webinar, I said that the key thing to take note of is that Bitcoin is the leading indicator, right? And because Bitcoin was not any level, was not any major support, which is why we exercise a lot of caution with Ethereum, right? But now I want to highlight something, which is that Ethereum is on a key support level, right? This 50% support, very nice. It actually stretches almost as far back as this level over here, right? But if you want to just look at the recent nice support levels, 50%, very, very nice with this overlap support. A bounce could occur from here, right? You're starting to see Bitcoin and Ethereum kind of like converge to the same kind of market structure, right? Same descending resistance that you see on Bitcoin, you kind of see on Ethereum, which is nice because the markets are starting to look a little bit more in tandem now, right? Same thing over here, this key support level over here, right? Price is holding very nicely above it, the same way that it's holding on Bitcoin, right? And if price does break from here, we could see a bounce all the way up to our first resistance, right? So I'm going to pick this as my first support. What happens if price breaks this level? Kind of gonna say it's a little bit of a free fall, right? 50 and 61. This would be a little bit too tight though. But I mean, if you want to, if you're thinking of like an arbitrary stop loss level, you could consider this second support. You don't keep things really tight to kind of play the bounce, right? You could consider this second support, give it that much breathing space, which is the same as Bitcoin, right? But if this level, first support is broken, second support will be wiped out, right? Same as Bitcoin. Bitcoin probably give it a little bit more breathing space. But I quite like that both Bitcoin and Ethereum are major support levels. So hopefully we can play a nice little bounce from here for both. All right. Now on to DXY. Right. So I think DXY is in the middle of nowhere, right? We highlighted one big resistance and one big support level, right? Hopefully we have a little bit more direction now. It reacted off our descending resistance like we... This isn't on the 1 day time frame. Am I? Oh no, this is euro dollar. Did I click DXY? Sorry, just let me rewind to DXY. Okay, so DXY we highlighted a big overlap over here with the resistance at this little swing high, right? Price didn't exactly rise to that resistance level, right? Because of the descending resistance line. So it looks like, you know, it's gonna inch down a little bit further. With price reacting quite nicely from this descending resistance line, right? You know, we should, in terms of dollar strength for this week, you know, we could potentially see it dropping further towards first support, right? Personally, for me, I think it's a little bit hard to find any key support or resistance line with DXY right now. It's a little bit hard to see. You know, it's lack of any levels to kind of look at. We know a big resistance and big support here, and we're just banking on this descending resistance line to kind of push prices down. Gold, gold. I guess, you know, after looking at DXY, we could take a quick look at gold, right? I think our view on gold, is that, you know, price would fluctuate between this intermediate resistance and this first support level, right? If it breaks this intermediate resistance, ideally, you know, we can see it take off towards the top, right? Gold. This was not my view on gold, right? My view on gold is here, yeah, correct. So it's continuing to fluctuate very nicely, right? So at least you're right on that. This ascending support level trend line, I'm not too big a fan. It looks like price might be breaking it, right? So you notice how we highlighted this intermediate resistance. Can I make this 1080p? I can't make it 1080p. It's weird. Yeah, so you kind of notice how like we highlighted this intermediate resistance and this support level, and only if price broke this intermediate support, then it could trigger the move up. Right, so we notice that, yeah, you know, price wasn't able to break that level, so we haven't triggered a move up yet, right? In terms of the breakout level, these two levels remain, right? Slight bias is that if price breaks from here, you can consider a nice little rally to this major swing high resistance. We call it a multi-swing high resistance up here, okay? But it requires the first resistance level to be broken. If it breaks the first support, you know, you can expect it to drop to the second support level, because you're looking at these levels here, right? There's really an absence of support, right? Maybe over here, right? Yeah, maybe over there a bit, but there's an absence of support. So if it breaks the first support, it breaks the ascending support level, it breaks the Ichimoku cloud, right? We should be able to see a drop here. And why I have a slight bias for prices to bounce is because, you know, we are on a major support level, we are on the ascending support level, we are in the middle of an Ichimoku cloud, right? So we got three elements supporting the bullish view over here, right? So if prices really do bounce from here, you know, we could see, right? We could see a nice little push up towards the second resistance level, okay? Now, yeah, so that would be more or less my view on gold. All right, so let's get back onto some of the I think, is it euro dollar? Yes, it's euro dollar. Hey Yamil, thanks for tuning in from Italy. right? Euro dollar, yeah, I think it's in the middle of nowhere. This week, euro dollar, continues to be in the middle of nowhere. If I have to highlight a first resistance, probably about here. Second resistance, first support. Not much you can actually call. Let me see if I can fine tune any level. Almost none. 61.8, not projection. Nope. Yeah. Not much I can call. You notice how like DXY is in the middle of nowhere, right? Same thing as euro dollars, a little bit in the middle of nowhere. Very, very hard to call. I will stay away from the dollar story, right? Playing the moves on euro dollar and DXY. It's a little bit hard to find a to call a nice level. Honestly, really, really tough right now. I wish I could, right? Maybe a little bit of an overlap here. Even then, yeah, you know, if you pick the overlap here, hopefully you can see a reversal. But a bit tough. It's not as clear. So one of the key mantras I have when it comes to trading, right, is that, you know, we don't need to try to squeeze out we don't need to try to squeeze out an analysis or a trade for every single instrument, right? Sometimes the instruments are just nicer. Sometimes the setups are just nicer. And when the setups are nicer, it's easier to call the trade. But if the setup is not nice, you know, no one's forcing us to try to trade euro dollar this week. Excuse me, no one's forcing us to trade like DXY this week, right? There are enough instruments, right? So let's focus on the ones that have the highest probability setups, right? I think gold is a pretty nice one so far. If we're looking at pound dollar, we're looking for a reversal on pound dollar, I think, of this level, right? So far, I think most of our analysis are on point. Price is approaching this major resistance level on pound dollar. So we are forecasting that, you know, if it reaches this level, we could play a reversal from it, right? We can see that price. Why do I like this resistance level so much? You go back to the weekly time frame. This is what we call an overlap resistance. I mean, overlap resistance, right? Same thing as I highlighted previously, right? Price has reacted off once on both sides, right? Once from the top and once on the bottom, right? So if a reversal were to happen from here, you know, we'll be looking at this level over here, okay? So very, very nice level. You can actually stretch this level further back. You will notice how price tends to respond to this level very nicely, even all the way back to here. You can see the way price responds to this level very nicely. And that's the benefit of using a higher time frame approach, where you look at one time frame higher, right, just to see how important this level is. And clearly, this is a very important level, right? So I'm just gonna pull it back all the way here, right? I'm gonna remove this drawing that I just did, and we go into the daily time frame. So yeah, price is just about approaching that level, right? Very nice resistance level, and we're looking to play a reversal from this level back down, right? Back down. Remove these levels here, right? This Fibonacci levels, yeah, maybe back down to this 50%, right? Yeah, but we're looking to play the move down to here, okay? Pound dollar, fairly straightforward. Dollar franc, I think we did pretty well on dollar franc. So on dollar franc, we are calling for the reversal of this key overlap. You notice how price multiple times in the past had responded to that level. So we're calling for a big reversal, right? This was one of my trades of the week. Since then, right? Since then, we've seen how price, you know, this was the reverse resistance level. Price has reversed very nicely back down, as you can see, you know. So we are calling for a reversal from here, and the reversal happened very nicely. Is dropping, right? Ideally, you know, we should be able to see price continue to drop all the way down to the second support level down here, right? So you know, further bearishness all the way to the to the first support down here. Yeah, further bearishness down to the first support. That's probably the key level that we're looking at. Okay. So I just need to see what's this. Is 100% projection. All right. Nice enough second resistance here. I actually had a first support level. I think I mean, if you're a little bit more conservative, this could be a first support level, right? Because of how nicely price has responded to this level. But I would probably put it as an intermediate support, meaning you want to look for price to break this intermediate support, and if it does, then it can accelerate lower. Okay, I am just a little bit wary about this first support level. We managed to catch a nice resistance level here. I personally have like closed off a little bit of my position, right? And if price really drops from here, you know, we should see it drop the first support. But take note of this intermediate support level. Okay, I'm a little bit wary about this intermediate support level. Now we're going to dollar yen now. Sorry, dollar yen. Dollar yen, we expected price to drop down a little bit, test this major support level, right? This week, same thing. So yes, price, what happened? Price, yeah, price continued to test the major support level very nicely. We still remain bullish, right? In fact, a little bit more bullish now, right? I expect prices, you know, with this ascending support, with this major overlap support, I think with the Ichimoku support, we should be able to see prices kind of inch up towards the first resistance. Our view on dollar yen remains the same, guys, right? Okay, now I'm trying to complete most of these setups faster so that I can attend to your special request. Kelvin, right, you request Aussie dollar, I'll look at it soon. Kiwi dollar, I think my setup on Kiwi dollar didn't work out that well, I think, right? So I'm expecting for a reversal from there, right? It looks like price has not reversed as nicely. It is instead kind of making higher highs. In terms of the resistance level, man, I don't really. I mean, it looks like a very bottomish pattern over here. Very tricky, man. Sorry, give me a second to think about this move. That's why I hate Aussie dollar and the Kiwi. As in, like, I dislike their movements, right? They always, just when it looks like they have a perfect setup, right? It always disappoints me. Because of this bottomish pattern over here, right? Because of this like little bit of a bottomish pattern, right? What is likely to happen in the short term, right? What is likely to happen in the short term is that we could see price rise up towards this first resistance level, this resistance level over here. I'm going to put this as the first resistance level, right? This will now be my new support level, right? This will now be my first, my new first support, right? And my new second support is now fine-tuned to this level over here. You would now be my new second support. Not too keen that price will come all the way up to here, right? Because of the descending resistance line, right, that we're seeing. Very nice descending resistance line that's been pushing prices lower. So I won't be so ambitious to say that price is able to like break the descending resistance line to come up there. Even if it accelerates upwards, probably come up to the second resistance, right? I have a slight bias that we should see price minimally strengthen for the first few days towards the first resistance level. If it breaks this, watch for price to be reattracted to our descending resistance line at the second resistance level here, right? So, we should minimally be able to see price accelerate to this level. Now, Aussie dollar wise, first resistance remains over here, right? So, Kelvin, your request on Aussie dollar, let me just take a look at this. The problem with Aussie dollar now is that these movements here, right, it's hard for me to, just look at these levels over here. The movement, it's hard to find a key support level to say that, price is going to bounce from there, right? But what is probably a little bit easier to find is the first resistance and the second resistance, all right? So we could play, right, in terms of movements, we could play a reversal of the first resistance down to here, right? Alternatively, if price really kind of accelerates up to second resistance, I like the second resistance. It does look like it's a key Fibonacci level. There we go. Is it 50 and 61? Yeah, 50% is this major swing high over here, right? 61.8 retracement is just about this level over here, right? So probably could play a nice little reversal off the 50% resistance. But if you're like me, a little bit more conservative, right? I kind of like to play the overlap levels. You can see this is a very nice overlap level, right? I like to play the overlap level more than the swing high levels, as you can see over here, right? So personally for me, right, I will probably be considering this a reversal from this second resistance, depending on the way that you want to play it, right? But I do like that it is major 61.8 retracement level, right? Second support, I gotta fine tune it to probably about this level over here. Okay, so depending, if you're a little bit more a risk taker, you can take the reversal of the first resistance. Otherwise, you can wait for second resistance, which is also a 61.8 retracement, right, to kind of play the little bounce here, play the little reversal over here. Okay, let's see if I miss anything. Could it be the 127? Yeah. The benefit of that is that there's a nice Nike tick, upcoming Nike tick that will come to this about this level over here to play the reversal, right? So these are key things to look out for Aussie dollar, right? Pound yen, all right. Let me take a look at pound yen. Pound yen. Let me see. I don't think I did analysis on pound yen last week, right? But we can look at it this week. Okay. I probably drew this resistance level for a reason, right? Okay, nice overlap resistance over here. I know it's a little bit hard to see, right? But if you zoom in, you can see that there's a very, very nice overlap resistance here, right? Price bounce off one time, react off it one more time. Right, how far back can this go? Probably onto here, right? So price is on that resistance. Wow, interesting, very interesting. Could we be looking at a really nice setup this week? Could go all the way up to there. Okay, so at least we established that price is on a major resistance, all right? This is not just some small resistance, the big resistance from very, very far back. I wonder, is this a key Fibonacci retracement? Could it be a 78 or something? 61 or 78? No, it's not anywhere in between. First resistance over there. Okay, now we zoom into the 1 day time frame. What we're likely to see, right? This is the overlap support which I'm seeing over here. I mean, sorry, this is a pullback support which I'm looking at over here. All right. I have a little bit of bias that we're going to see a reversal down to here, right? If price really breaks above, you know, we can use the 1 to 7% kind of a Nike tick formation that we're seeing over here, right? We can use it as the upper limit, right, of this move. In case price really spikes up above the first resistance, is likely to spike up to this level. Okay, reversal from here, we should see it come down to first support. I won't be too confident to play it lower, but if you want to, right, the second support level is probably over here, right, where the a bunch of overlap levels are. I probably put it down as second support over here, right? Bunch of overlap levels over here, right? So if it reverses from first resistance to first support, right, if it really breaks the first support, right, second support is a key level to look out for. Remember, same thing as I showed you, you know, nice little reaction, nice reaction, right, nice reaction, nice reaction, nice reaction, right, nice bounce. As you can see here, a little bit choppy over here, but that is the reason why this is a very, very nice support level, right, which I'm using as my second support. Okay, yeah, but if price reverses from this first resistance, I really like this level. I would consider it a key trade of the week, right? The problem is that I can't find a Fibonacci level right at the first resistance. That is my only problem. Yeah, it's my only problem now. So I can't find it there. Just let me see. Yeah, a bit hard to find a Fibonacci on this first resistance. If I had a few more Fibonacci levels that lined up on the first resistance, it would be amazing. But I only find this first resistance over here. So what might happen is that we might see a spike and then a reversal, right? To this 1 to 7%. Okay. Yeah, that's a pound yen. Let's see if we looked at anything else, right? We do need to look at WTI. I'll take a quick look at NASDAQ. I think we called for a reversal from NASDAQ off that level. I don't know if price actually reached the level. Sorry. Where's is it? Did I call NASDAQ here? Am I on the 1 day time frame? Yeah, I'm on the 1 day time frame. Oh, it's still there. Not much of a difference. I think our resistance was at this little pullback over here. So price seems to kind of still be at the level, right? So it called for a reversal of this level, first resistance. It looks like it is working out quite nicely, right? It looks like it's working out quite nicely. First reversal of first resistance over here, right? So we could see price continue to edge further down. Let me see. Right, I think we highlighted the levels over here. This nice little overlap over here, right? So we should be able to see price reverse from this level down. I don't think it drop all the way down, right? But we'll likely see a reversal from that first resistance, okay? And second resistance over here, okay? I'm not too sure whether it dropped all the way down. I'm just looking at this. I'm not too sure it dropped all the way down, right? But these are the key levels to look out for, okay? Now, we had a request for WTI oil. Oil, this remains as a key support level, all right? I'll draw it out for you guys so you can see, right? You can see price, right? Major swing low. I like to drag it further back, further back. So you got a nice little bit of a support level over here, right? So this would be one of my key support levels, as you can see, right? One of the key support levels over here. I'm going to highlight this area. So it's a nice little bit of a supported support area over here. In terms of resistance, a bit tricky, right? Major resistance here, but it's a little bit far away, right? It's a little bit far away. Okay, so this would probably be my second resistance. My first resistance, I might put it just about over here, right? This would be my first resistance, right? Price has responded to this level many times in the past, as you can see, from the bounce, bounce and reaction, right? So it's a nice little bit of resistance. There is still the bearish kind of movement that is pushing prices down, right? Price is still below the bearish Ichimoku cloud, as you can see over here. Not that strong of a view on the bearish Ichimoku cloud, but we could see price come back down to kind of test this little bit of a support level over here, right? I'm just going to put this as the range, as the upper limit of this intermediate of this support area. We could see kind of prices kind of inch lower down to here because price just seems to be going lower and lower. Okay, now I covered many of the major levels, right? Let's just take a look at Dow Jones. Not many things for us to look at for Dow Jones, right? Price continue to kind of push it up. First resistance there, right? We're looking to, I probably would prefer price to break this first resistance to kind of rise up to second resistance. All right, very hard to find another support level over here, which is why our support levels over here. DAX continues to remain in a nice bullish ascending channel, bouncing off first support, right? So we should be able to see price kind of bounce off the first support and kind of go back up to test the first resistance. Not too sure whether price is going to go up to the second resistance over here, but let's just play the bounce up to the first resistance, and that should be enough. All right, that should be enough, right? Playing the bounce up to the first resistance here. Guys, if you have any other requests, please send them through so I can take a quick look at them. All right, otherwise I'll just be going through the rest. S&P 500 key overlap resistance over here, right? Also happens to be a negative 27 Fibonacci projection. Sorry, negative 27 Fibonacci expansion and a 127% Nike tick kind of reversal, right? 127% right about over here too. So I have a slight bias that we might see a reversal from the first resistance back down to the first support, right? So this is my slight bias on the S&P 500, right? We're already seeing a little bit of price action there, so ideally a reversal back down to the first support level. Okay, got a request coming through for Aussie Yen. Let's take a look at this. Wow, it's been a while since I update this. For Aussie Yen, this would be my key support level to kind of play a bounce from. You notice how price has responded very nicely to these levels in the past. All right, very, very nicely. Right, so its price has broken this level, meaning we should trigger a move up. How high can it go? Right, I think you can play it to this resistance level. I wouldn't play all the way to here, right? Maybe to here should be enough as the first resistance level. So I kind of look to play the move from here all the way up to here. Okay, this is probably my idea on Aussie Yen. Stop loss placement, if you're a little bit riskier, high risk, you can put the stop loss placement somewhere here. Again, not trading advice, right? Just my view on the markets here. If you're a little bit more conservative, you can put it here, but otherwise, it looks like this was where the breakout happened, so you can put your stop loss slightly below here, right? So if this is a second support, stop loss can be placed just slightly lower. Okay, so that would be our view on Aussie Yen, right? Let me just skim through to see if there are any nice, really nice setups for the week. Aussie CAD, a little bit trickier. Nothing much on Aussie CAD. The risk that I'm seeing on Aussie CAD is that let me see where's the 23% retracement. Okay, Aussie CAD, we could be seeing, right? We could be seeing price make a reversal, a pretty nice reversal, right, up to a 38%. Fairly decent trade, right? We could be seeing price make a nice little bounce all the way up to 38% retracement about over here. Okay, right, this would be the second support, right? This would be the first support. Actually a pretty nice move, Aussie CAD, right? It broke the 23%, it broke this key pullback overlap level, right? We should see it kind of inch up towards this level over here, right? With the major support down, back down at this level, right? You can drag it back further here, right? Otherwise, this could be your this could be your second support, this would be your first resistance, sorry. Okay, fairly nice move on Aussie CAD. Let me see if there's anything else I missed out. Euro pound a little bit tricky. Not that nice on Euro pound. Euro Aussie. Euro Aussie looks like we're lining up with something pretty interesting, right? Key overlap level, key support level that we're seeing over here, right? So Euro Aussie lining up nicely. What is the Fibonacci projection? Very nice zigzag that we're seeing. Price could come all the way down to the 100%, right? Where's the Fibonacci expansion? Negative 27, all the way down to there. 78 and 100 and if I were to play a move from here, right, I will kind of look to play the bounce. I've looked to play the bounce off this level, right? We got a nice 61.8 retracement. We got a nice 100% projection, all the way leading prices to see this nice little support level over here. I will likely play the bounce on this, right, up to here, up to the first resistance level over here. Probably be one of my nicer setups of the week. I really like the movement that I'm seeing over here. Play the bounce to here, right? And in terms of stop loss placement, right, you could put your level slightly below this level over here, right? In fact, the nicer setup seem to happen on the non-majors, right? Yeah, so I would kind of look to play the bounce from here. A little bit tricky. Not much of a trend line, not much of an Ichimoku cloud, right? So could play the little bounce from here. Okay, let me just skim through the rest of the instruments so you guys roughly know the way I analyze, right? So just skim through. Nah, not nice. Pound yen is there. You guys know pound CAD. This resistance continues to be there. Pound franc. A little bit hard to find anything, honestly. Euro pound. No. So a lot of these setups, you know, when I'm trading them, you can see how I just skim through them. And I'll just see if there's a nice trade that we can take. If there's no nice trade, we don't try to force it. The nice ones that really appear are like this. Very clear market structure, very clear overlap level that we're looking at, right? Very clear overlap levels, right? And you can play the bounce from here. And of course, oh shit. Yeah, and of course from here, as you can see, right? What I think is also very, very important is that there's nice 61.8, nice 100%. You know, the Fibonacci levels are lining up with the key levels, which is very different from pound yen, where pound yen. Just move this pound yen up. Let me just delete this one. How do I delete this one? Yeah, which is very different from the other pound yen, where I can find a key resistance, but I cannot find a Fibonacci level. I always like it when both of it kind of lines up together. Right, Aussie CAD, there we go. Aussie franc, we probably have something on Aussie franc, right? It looks like we might be seeing AUD strength for the rest of the week. I like this overlap. I like that it probably has broken the 23% retracement. As you can see over here, 23 and 38, right? It looks like it's broken the 23 and 23%. It looks like it can continue to head up. So I do like the moves that we're looking at across Aussie, right? A little bit of a bullish breakup. So we could be looking at the story this week is a lot of Aussie strength, right, against the crosses. All right, so probably this one, I'll probably go 23.30 at 50%, right, to play the move up to about here, right? This could be the level where you play the resistance from, right? This would be the first support, the breakout level. They can consider to bounce, right? And this would be the second support. Oh, we have a lot of things to review next week for sure, right? If I get it right, I'll get it wrong. Yeah, but we could be seeing a nice acceleration up towards first resistance here. Aussie yen, same thing. Looks like we could be moving up to there. Aussie Kiwi, a little bit hard to see. I won't bother. I won't bother with Aussie Kiwi unless there's a 127% somewhere nearby. Nice little Nike tick kind of movement that we're seeing over here, right? Lining up just about there, right? So you could play a short-term reversal back down to here, right? Those of you guys who are interested in Nike tick formation, right? That is how you kind of play it. Nice Nike tick, play the reversal down, right? Easy peasy. Okay, easy peasy. Let me just skim through, nothing else on dollar. See, for Kiwi CAD, right? When I'm looking at it like that, just look at this movement, right? Look at the prior movement here, right? And try to find a support level as price continues to drop. It's almost impossible. It's impossible to find a support level. There's no support level. So it's very hard for you to call a bounce on any of this level, right? Instead, it's easier to just call the free fall for price to come down to this major support level here. Because of this movement here, it's very hard and very difficult to call any support level. So it's a little bit hard to trade Kiwi CAD over here, okay? Because even though you can find something like the resistance over here, right? So I'm going to remove the levels here. Even though I can find a resistance level over here, right? I can say this is the first resistance, and we play the reversal of the first resistance. You know, where can we play it to? You know, where can we play it to? It's because, you know, there is no key support level. So it's very difficult to play the move. You can maybe only play the move down to here, right? To a recent swing low, right? But it's very difficult to play a move if because the support levels in this case provide you the targets for you to aim for. Okay, so Kiwi CAD, Kiwi Franc, probably nope, nothing on Kiwi Franc, nothing on that, nothing on CAD Franc. Could maybe something on CAD Franc? Maybe. Testing the key 23% retracement. Yeah, play a reversal from here, right? You could, this is actually a pretty nice setup, right? You could play the drop all the way down to the support down here, right? I do like what we're seeing over here. There's one overlap support here, right? This could be a first support, right? This could be your second support, okay? This could be a second support. So depending on how risk conservative or tolerant you are, you can play a move down. Your second resistance doesn't necessarily need to be here. You could technically just put it here, right, for a good enough move, right? Because our bias, you know, you need to think about it, right? Our case one, as you can see over here, 23% retracement, there is no reason, our view is that price should reverse on this level, okay? And it should come down to here. You don't need prices to come all the way up to here to tell you that you're wrong. If you're wrong, you want to know that you're wrong right away, right? So price spike up, right? It takes out the descending resistance, it takes out the overlap, right? You know, it takes you out. But if you're right, you know, your risk to reward for this trade can be amazing, right? So a lot of it depends on this, right? I will kind of look for a reversal from here down to first support. Okay, nice 23%, nice overlap, right? Price doesn't seem to be able to break that level, so it could drop all the way down to first support. Okay, guys. Now, thank you for staying with me throughout this entire webinar, right? I hope you found today's session useful. A slightly quieter crowd today, right? But yeah, I hope you guys found this session useful to really, you know, help you find a couple of nice setups. I highlighted a lot of key technical setups for the week, right? I think we probably covered everything there is. Maybe play a reversal from this level, right? Maybe play a reversal from this level, right? But yeah, we covered most of the key levels, right? To take a look at, right? So yeah, I hope you found today's session useful. If you have any questions, comments, or feedback, please send it in. I'll do my best to kind of take a look at it, right? Otherwise, tune in about 12 hours. In about 12 hours for our other live market analysis session where we look at the 4-hour time frame, right? Or maybe the 4-hour or 1-hour time frame. right? Not the 1 day time frame, because our pre-market analysis is more for what's going to happen for the rest of the week, right? Yes, and if you can help me, guys, please smash that like button, right? It helps us, helps the YouTube algorithm pick us up, right? Sharp Grootman. I'm not sure who Sharp Grootman is, Luvo, right? But yeah, that's not me, all right? Okay, thank you very much, guys. Stay safe, trade safe. I will catch you guys in maybe later today, right? Or throughout the week, right? Let's hope that most of our forecasts work out nicely. Thank you very much, guys. Stay safe, trade safe, and bye-bye.